Today, we're deciding, does Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods still hold up 11 years later?
Let's find out.
Doto, you could have said that with a little more enthusiasm.
Okay,
what was that?
let me go again. Or is this a thing where you're making fun of me in front of the podcast viewers, or are you actually giving me a critique for the intro?
I feel like you said that in a way that was to set them up for the remainder of the video. You said,
So you're
let's find out.
well, Nano. I may be saying that because I know that this is going to have a big old. You know what? I personally am glad YouTube got rid of the dislike bar because I fear that this may be one of the greatest dislike bars in the history of YouTube podcast about Dragon Ball Z ever.
Doto, I want to remind you that a good portion of this podcast is funded by key members that become key members and can watch our reaction to Battle of Gods. We filmed an entire hour and 45-minute reaction to Battle of Gods, which was available to you guys for becoming key members by clicking the join button down below or going to patreon.com/keymoments and becoming a patron over there.
No,
key member over there.
You mind if I give him a little quick teaser?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. We got a little sizzle reel. Then I'll put the little sizzle reel.
Sizzle reel.
Look at this. I get the first down. I secure it. I ain't letting the play die.
That was nice.
Back. Look at that pitch back.
Ooh, fuck, marry, kill from GURP between Goku, Vegeta, Broly. Lock in. Doto, do you think there's a single person that joined from that sizzle reel / us calling out and watching Battle of Gods? You think?
Probably
at least one.
One person, but
Timothy?
Here's the thing. No. Here's the thing. Because specifically, it's going to be the one guy that has very vehemently defended this movie. And I mean, let's be honest, they're going to try to get a refund. Because me personally,
opinions exist. We can't all think everything is the best. That's what makes.
Give me a hot take right now.
A hot take?
An actual hot take. I'm gonna rate it fairly. I'm just gonna close my eyes.
Okay.
I'm gonna rate it fairly.
Wait. Okay.
About
okay.
anything.
My hot take. Okay.
About anything.
Oh, not about the movie?
Literally anything. It can be about the movie. It can be about literally anything. I'm just gonna rate it.
I think that ham is far superior to turkey.
That. Well, I said I'd judge it fairly, so I'm gonna give. I don't know that you picked the actual hard topic. I would say that's a hot take because I think turkey is really good. But when I say that
was the point of it.
When I say that, people point and go white person, white person, white person. So I think I just really like turkey. People say it's bland. But I kind of like
think I probably haven't had a good turkey. I've had good turkey, but I still, every single good ham I've ever had, I prefer it over every single good turkey. And even the worst ham I've had usually stomps most turkeys. Like, it's got to be like such a good, well-cooked turkey.
I hate that this is actually like, you're kind of giving a very thorough answer and I'm agreeing. But unfortunately, because you're giving a good answer, your score on the hot takes going down. I'm dropping it to a 5 out of 10. Possibly even a 4.
I shouldn't have done that.
No, but
can I give you another hot take real quick? I know you're probably about to do one, but can I give you another one?
I wasn't going to do one, but go ahead.
World's Strongest might be a better Dragon Ball Z movie than Battle of Gods.
That's the coldest take I've ever seen in my life. Oh, spoilers for the rest of the podcast. Spoiler. We did not have a very good time. Or let me not speak for you.
Whoa, there's so much to talk about.
My opinion on this movie.
Donald's about to give his rating just so he can get out. He's like,
my opinion on this movie got
substantially
worse. Substantially.
Okay, I think it's important to note, if you're new to the channel, we're doing a Dragon Ball Z rewatch.
We are, yeah.
We're in the middle of fake Namek, at least at our time.
Yeah, it's real.
And it's weird how many like similar themes to where we're at in Z.
They brought it but the reason that is, Nano, is because
Bulma's consistent.
Bulma is consistently an alcoholic. She is consistently an abuser. She is consistently a smart person. So I mean, her character is absolutely handled well and beautifully in this movie. But that kind of goes into the one positive about this movie. So before you kill me in the comments, it's already too late. But let me just say, I'm gonna spiral it off here. I'm gonna throw a little curveball in here. Let me start with the positives. This movie exists, and I owe literally, bro, boo, I scare you job application is me because I owe everything to this movie, bro. Because I'm a Dragon Ball YouTuber, kinda, mostly.
Yeah. Even if you mix it up now, you probably wouldn't be where you're at without Dragon Ball.
Exactly. And to be honest, am I getting to where I am if Battle of Gods isn't real?
No, probably not.
Hell no. Technically, I can also say that for Evolution. But Battle of Gods in more of a honest to God fan way. When this movie was announced, I was on my knees like, yes.
Yeah, I was there day one in theater.
And
bro.
when this movie came out, I was on my knees like, oh, yeah, it's so good. Because it is for that reason. So my opinion of this movie purely exists in the timeline and world we actually are in, where we are spoiled for Dragon Ball riches. And not, well, okay, maybe not,
but I wouldn't go as far as
where we
spoiled.
compared to where we were, Nano?
Yes.
Compared to where we were. We were down and out in the gutter, in the filth, and that Dragon Ball. I was watching. There was a time when Dragon Ball fans were watching Dragon Ball Z again in Kai, and that was hype. It was like, oh, we get to watch Dragon Ball Z again? Wow, life is so good, dude. On Nicktoons, bro. Come on, Nickelodeon. I'll watch Dragon Ball Z again.
So, speaking of watching Dragon Ball Z, and we are doing Dragon Ball Z rewatch. So to address everyone that is like a core member of our
core member, we have Xbox names. Core member,
a key moments head.
Okay, key moments.
We're doing this because we've talked about Battle of Gods so much. Dada was here in the Santa Monica studio. It just made sense to do this reaction now.
Let's be honest. We both were getting a little antsy in the fake Namek arc. Okay,
we needed a detour.
Okay, we talked about this on the Patreon, or the YouTube memberships a little bit. But one of the main reasons we wanted to do this is because it's a hot topic now.
This has come up so much in our
people
pods
are making
lately.
fun of us now. This needs to, you know what? On key moments, we have had a few topics that have gone on to live live on Twitter.
Yes,
this needs to be a Twitter topic. I need to see real opinions on this right now. But Battle of Gods, 11 years later in the Dragon Ball life that we're living now, I don't think it holds up.
Yeah, that's what we're here to dive into today. Is where
we're doing it.
Yes, where I wanted to approach it is that, like, again, not a rewatcher of things. I even told Doto gave me like a look on this, but it is what it is. I've not rewatched Battle of Gods from start to finish since I saw it in the theater 11 years ago with my buddy Josh. Me and Josh went and watched it.
Shout out Josh.
And that's weird. I didn't want to I usually call him by his last name, but I don't know why I felt like not saying his last name. And now people have his first and his last name. So it's like,
we don't have.
If I said it,
oh yes, now you can't say it because then it's like a weird dox.
Yeah.
You should have just gone.
Although he has such a common name, but for both first and last, it's like
Josh Stevens.
Who knows? Anyway, I've rewatched the final bit.
Yeah, we know the bit.
Yeah, that's the bit that. Yeah, but like I think we went into this to see if it held up. We went into this to also see if we were wrong about our opinions, because so many of you guys watching, like, because we're both on record saying we don't think this movie holds a flame to like Superhero, Broly, World's Strongest, stuff like that.
Whoa. That was not the opinion. Hold on, because now you're trying to kill us. My opinion was this movie.
They're sleeping on World's Strongest. Okay. What's more based? Us thinking World's Strongest is good or thinking Battle of Gods is good?
Nano, the reason I have to stop you isn't because I don't hold that opinion now. It's because before my opinion was Battle of Gods is good, but not to the level of a Superhero or Broly, and not even really that close. But the truth is, Nano, and I always thought this movie was probably better than Revival of Frieza. But the truth is,
we need to rewatch Revival of Frieza.
Okay, can I say this right now? If Revival of Frieza is not better than this, I'm going to.
We got to rewatch Revival of Frieza.
I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna be sick. But how many can we justify?
I think
there's no way we can justify Revival.
We can justify everything. We can, because I think that these two movies are a combo package.
They are.
They're a combo package. I think we can justify Battle of Gods. We can justify the Frieza film, which is a good reason why they should hit the follow button on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and subscribe on YouTube. So that way they can come back, so they can watch.
You weren't even arguing. You weren't even arguing with me. You were plugging the goddamn podcast, and I can almost respect that. But here I am thinking it was your real opinion. No, so these are Revival of Frieza is also a Z movie, technically, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Side opinion. I say this all the time. If you say Battle of Gods and Revival of Frieza are Z movies because they technically are Dragon Ball Z movies, I think that's the world's stupidest opinion.
I actually just saw a quote tweet from somebody that said, because somebody posted a quick clip of Super Saiyan God, and my God, it has to be quick because that form isn't in this movie very long.
Okay, a little subtle shadow jab there. Okay,
and someone quote tweeted it because they titled it and said like, your anime doesn't have anything on Dragon Ball Super. And they quote tweeted it and said, well, you're wrong anyway, because this is Dragon Ball Z. And I'm like, oh, come on, man.
I hate, dude. So, okay, let me correct it. If you're,
it is a Dragon Ball Z film. It is a Dragon Ball Z film.
No. If you're gonna be a normal person, look. I guess I just hate when people are like, if you show them Super Saiyan God and you're like, and that's a Dragon Ball Z form. It's like, dude, not really, like barely, dude. Like if you're holding on to the slimmest of margins, dude, it's so. I just hate it, bro. I hate that. If you want to be, look, you know what's fine is if I'm like, oh, Dragon Ball Super movies, you mean like Battle of God? And you're like, well, technically Battle of Gods is like a Z thing, but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, oh, true, actually.
But, okay,
right.
That's fair. To me, God is a super form.
Yes.
God is not a Z form. I'm never just casually talking to someone and talking about like my favorite forms in Z, and I'm like, Super Saiyan God. Like most people would look at you and go, the fuck?
Because literally, Nano, they go back and do the episodes again.
Three is the peak of Z to me, right?
Yes, because they go back and oh my god, that would be a fun look, on a trivia thing, that would be a fun like sidewinder, like what's the highest level of power Goku achieved in Dragon Ball Z, and it's God 3, and then like Super Saiyan 2
You'd have
Rage
to have Blue, because he technically goes further than God. He goes to Blue in Z because of
technically yes.
Resurrection F.
Oh my god.
God's not even
if you want to throw like a little, if you want to use it as like a fun bit of trivia, that's fine. Obviously, that's what trivia is made for. But if you want to, when somebody says like God and Blue are super forms, and you want to be like, there's, I don't know. It's almost like, bro, they read. I just think they redo it in Super.
Yes.
Super story arc
and
is these movies.
Way more present in Super. I think it would be so interesting to pull up Broly, not as a reaction. Who knows, maybe. Just to like watch an actual good movie. But it would be interesting to pull that up and to see how long Goku is specifically God. And then compare that to how much he's God in Battle of Gods. And see which one actually he's like which one he stays in God longer.
I mean, it's definitely going to be the show for sure. Hopefully.
No. Battle of Gods versus Broly. Actually, the movie movie.
And probably still Broly.
He was not God for any amount of time in this film. And what he was... Yapping.
I just don't know if...
Yapping.
No. I really don't know if... Like, I acquired this power, but am I really happy I have this power? The fuck are you talking about, bro? If you don't get in there and punch the guy... No, but... look, I would feel the same way if they redo the Broly... Like, when Super comes back, if it ever comes back, and they redo Broly, and they call it Dragon Ball... Dragon Ball Heavy or something, Dragon Ball Heavy. And somebody's like, well, technically Broly is like a heavy guy. I'd be like, I don't know. Another big difference maker is Z literally ended and then forever went by and then this came out and it's a reunion film. It's basically like the Friends special. Like when all the characters on a sitcom get back together and they're all 50 fucking years old now.
People are going to hate that you just made that comparison.
Why?
But you know, the thing is, you're not even wrong.
But because that's what it literally is. So I guess that's why it upsets me. I don't know why I speed off into that. It's just when people say that, I get irrationally angry because I'm just like, technically, yes.
This movie, and that's why I'm like sitting here. I'm like, let's say screw it. Let's just watch Resurrection F. I mean, you're here, you're in the studio. Let's do it, and then we can do a full comparison on a separate video between these two films because. We did a ranking. We did a full movie ranking where at the time of watching that, and don't be wrong, there are some movies I've rewatched in my time, but most of them are from when I was a kid. And the whole point of making that ranking was to see if we could come back and see if we were correct on like our memory of the films.
Yeah.
And we ended up putting Resurrection F over Battle of Gods collectively off memory.
We did?
We did.
Okay.
So, and people were pissed off about that. So now I almost want to do the watch of that film just because it is so coinciding with Battle of Gods to see if that still holds up. And then also, before we're out of this, I'm going to pull up and see where we put Battle of Gods and see if we would still have it in that specific ranking. Because I'm really curious where we had it and if we would still, and then to look through just a quick one, because this is technically only 3 of the Z films that we will have seen totally on this rewatch arc that we're doing right now. But I'm so interested in seeing like where we put it and if we think it even held to that spot, because like you just mentioned, it being a Friend reunion, This movie, I think, hit way more 11 years ago when it was the first time we're seeing these characters back together for all these years.
Yes.
Because watching it now, you're like, because you even mentioned in the reaction, again, be a key member for it. You're like, oh, he's got to get a line in somewhere, man, because he's first time back on screen in 20 years. Like,
well, yeah, it literally was everybody hitting their catchphrases.
And that's fine for like, that's totally fine.
Great. No, it's not even fine. It's amazing for back in the time. I loved the movie for what it was and for what it did and for all the things. But nowadays, like, again, we live in we're spoiled now.
Yeah.
Like this was like, if this was just a reunion special, which it was, and it was a great, like all the characters doing their thing again. But like, it's frustrating because now watching it now, it's like, look, here's a list of things you get like when the movie comes out versus now. You get to see all the characters again in a new art style. You get to see Goku go into all of the forms, explain them, and get beat up by a stronger guy.
You're so bold mentioning the art style. Go ahead.
Well, no, I'm saying you do get to see a new art style, but now, I mean, let's go back to art style. Now it's not a new art style, and to be honest, this movie does not look movie quality. There's a lot of there is some shots, but there's a lot of times in this movie where it looks exactly like a standard, not a bad super episode, but a standard like
super episode,
middle of the road super episode.
Yeah.
Not there are super episodes.
It looks nothing like what I remember God of Destruction, Beer's arc, I think is what they call it. They don't call it the Battle of Gods.
It doesn't
arc.
look that bad.
It doesn't look like that, but yeah, it just has. I just felt like we were watching Super. I felt like we were just watching like
it felt like we were watching a cut together episodes of Super. And with some highs and some low, it felt like Super. And there are some Super episodes that greatly eclipse this, especially late TOP. Not even late TOP is more of a movie than this movie could ever be.
Yeah,
with some of the
hearing the shit, and I'm over here like being your yes man. Like, yeah, but like I know some of you guys watching this are like,
there's no way. But I challenge you. I ask you, have you watched the movie again? Unless, look, I'm gonna say this. This sounds crazy. I thought it was so like whatever that I would be open to hearing the fact that we somehow watched like a recut together thing, like because there's no way that was the movie, bro. Here's one thing. Okay. One comment. I don't remember your name. I'm sorry. I would bring up your name before. I'm not like throwing shade on your comment, but they said, now I can see why Dotto thinks the movie's bad. He's confusing it too much with the anime. But the only things I confused from and I'll agree, some of my memory was bad, but it ended up, I think, helping the movie in my memory because I like the cruise ship aesthetic more than just being on land. Although I think the reason they did that is because it's more noticeable to the show. Either way, I didn't like that it was on land. Yeah, so it really just, I don't know. It got my memory. I was giving it way more props in my memory than what I can give it now, honestly. And I think that goes to show. What are you pulling up here? Nano's working the machine.
Let's have our live reaction to this of where we place Battle of Gods. Okay, are you ready?
Can we hear our discussion too, or how do you know where the video is?
I don't know where to find.
Okay, let's
just see.
Oh, we're just seeing it.
Here we go. Where do we put it? We put it in B tier, right beneath Resurrection F, but above BoJack and Tree of Might and Android 13 and the Bardock special.
Well, the thing is when are we just tier listing? Say this right now, as quickly and honestly as you can. Are we just tier listing them on right now today? What do we want to watch?
Yes.
Pulling it off a shelf.
The whole point of the original tier list, I don't know if I ever completed my thought. The whole point of the original tier list was that we tier list them based purely on memory, and then we can come back when we're done rewatching everything and then see. And this is, again, we can't, like, this is still premature because we've not watched every single. We don't have a super crazy, like, up-to-date recollection of all these films. Again, the only ones we've watched, or I don't know if Dotto's been going rogue, but I've not watched any Z movies lately. So the only ones we've seen are World's Strongest, Dead Zone, and now Battle of Gods.
I'll tell you right now, the World's Strongest being in that low is a little wild.
Yeah, that was a miss. I still stand by the fact that us thinking World's Strongest was actually us are both agreeing that we enjoyed World's Strongest a ton. and us maybe having an opinion that World's Strongest might be the better film over Battle of Gods, like at least from a enjoyment standpoint. Because I think another thing that needs to be stated in this podcast is that, and we kind of alluded to it, but we understand the importance of Battle of Gods. What Battle of Gods did for the story, what Battle of Gods did for Dragon Ball Z, like that we are separating from our actual just enjoyment that we had of this film.
That's what I'm asking is, now, like, this tier list represents, like, we're staring at a movie shelf today.
Take that away. Take that away.
Just
take
today.
that away.
Take
You're looking at the Z. You're going to watch one of the 15 Dragon Ball Z films. We also put the 2 Super films here, but one of the 15 Dragon Ball Z films. You're choosing one. Where's Battle of Gods? Like you're like, all right.
Yeah, it's like, I want to watch a movie. Let's see. I probably wouldn't watch that one over this one. So with that said, yeah, Battle of Gods is coming down for me, obviously here. From B, it's like, I would rather watch World's Strongest. So
for me, being someone that covers the mobile games, we just got a God Goku from this movie for the Legends anniversary. He was the part 2's, like probably one of the more hyped characters, especially in terms of just like the viewers watching. Like the part 2 stuff did better than some of any of the other stuff, which the other stuff were fusions. And so I had some people in my ear like gassing up like God form from that movie. But now that we've rewatched it, and you've stood on business the whole time. You said the coolest part about that movie isn't even the God form.
Out of God form.
It's when he's base / Super Saiyan.
And
after the rewatch, and now looking at the cover art, he's not even God right there. He's going toe to toe with Beerus as a Super Saiyan right there.
Yes,
because
I don't blame them for that. That could have been a spoiler, but yeah, I agree. That's the moment of the film.
Super Saiyan is just a more iconic. Like if you're going to advertise, like,
but even then, they still. I mean, it's because that moment, what they're trying to represent, Super Saiyan Goku versus Beerus, is the better moment of the film.
Yes,
and it is the most hype moment. Of the film.
I guess I just don't. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but it's just kind of where I'm at. I guess I just don't remember God being like so ineffective. He did nothing in that form.
Well,
besides the one thing at the finale.
The finale, he like blows up the orb that was about to die.
But then it's one quick shot of him like charging up as a god, and it goes away.
Not only is the form not really that featured, but when if you count the amount of time where he's in the form and he's not bitching about being in the form.
Yes.
I'm not happy about this. I really wish I wasn't like this. I wanted to achieve this through training.
Like if we were judging, like if this were an episode and the way we judge episodes, and especially if you guys watch our reactions, like when a moment is like very clearly probably not a panel in the manga, Dot is like, oh, filler. If we were doing that here, how often would you call out filler in this movie?
I mean, the most of the movie, 9/10 of the movie, but that's because it just is, bro. I mean, by nature, that is what it is trying to be most of the time. It's
and I guess that's true for most films, but I just feel like the pacing and Dada was showing his meathead card over here several times. I don't even need that. I don't need that much. But even I mean, how many fights were in this film? It was Goku going Super Saiyan 3 on King Kai's planet. It was
which was
Vegeta.
Cool. And Vegeta.
And then the whole showdown with everyone trying to like go Tinks and everyone rushing him.
Yeah, if you count that as a fight.
Yeah. And it was Goku versus Beerus. And that's it.
Yeah.
Over the span of an hour and 45 minutes.
And most of it doesn't even really count.
Yeah, because it cuts. The God versus Beerus fight. Like they stop. They do like a couple of things, stop. Couple of things, stop. Like I was like, why does it keep stopping? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, not to. But the thing is, look, I can be a meathead, and yes, I would rather want action on the screen than just yapping and walking around. But let me say it again, bro. Let me get down on both knees, get out to Broly. But Broly, the opening intro is not necessarily like action.
No.
But it's showing a lot of cool lore. It's showing the life of the Saiyans. It's showing...
It's interesting is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Now, look, Broly could not have happened. But I keep saying this because I want there's one Battle of God.
We have to let you guys understand. I respect this movie.
Yes,
I do.
When it came out, I was a fan. I'm still... Look, I've said this before. I keep trying to explain this. There's no way to explain this without people understanding what I'm trying to say. But the biggest perks of Battle of Gods is that it did its job so well that it made itself boring. It is boring because it introduces Beerus and Whis and the gods and the universes, and it does it so well that that's just Dragon Ball to me. I don't need a whole movie introducing those concepts and characters because I accept it. I've moved on. And now that's all the movie has to offer, and that's not cool because I'm over it. We get it. Beerus and Whis, I get those guys are cool. They do cooler stuff in Super, in the manga, in the show, in any other thing than in this movie where they're just being introduced. Now, granted, the movie did that and is the reason those characters are cool and fans like, but it did it too job. I mean, it did its job too well.
I think you're spitting. By the way, my bit is I was too slow, but my bit was going to be, listen, we respect it, but I'm also going to have to respectively hand it an L.
He was drawing on his phone. And the audio listeners, what did you get them for Christmas?
Sorry. Audio listeners, we do love you guys. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. We appreciate you, real talk. Even though right now you might be fuming because we haven't said anything good yet. Let's say something positive about this movie. Seriously, something. Let's say something positive.
I tried to, it introduced the characters. Really
not that. You have to choose something like in the film, like not like what it did for Dragon Ball.
You will not destroy my world.
Boom! There. See, it was easy.
That was pretty easy, and that part's still great. The music kicks in. Just dashing around through the asteroids, you're punching rocks.
I'm not going to use that because that was yours, and also that's like most people's answer, and not even the Rage Vegeta stuff. Actually, if anything, there was a Vegeta moment in here that like. But Nano, you're a Vegeta fan. The Rage Vegeta.
Yeah.
There's a moment.
Can we talk about that right now?
Hang on, though.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to say the Pilaf crew.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Pilaf crew were genuinely one of the best parts.
Yeah, I forgot.
We got genuine laughs.
Like actually, both of us just laughed like legitimately.
There should have been more of them.
It was it was really like early Dragon Ball style humor, but it was like. Pretty funny stuff. I even said I was like these guys are unironically the best part of this movie because while they were walking around and talking, at least the jokes were funny. At least they were getting into
good
wacky
example
scenarios.
of we're not not meatheads all the time. Like you can tell a good story without it needing to just be constant fighting. But now let's actually before we get to Vegeta, I want to say something else about Goku. Well, I get with his character because Doto's been mentioning all the like yapping and everything he's been doing about how like I didn't earn this. And that is very true to his character. But one thing is not true to his character is in that moment, you think he would just want to use that to stop Beerus from literally destroying their world. And I know eventually he says that and eventually he does technically do that. But like in that moment, I think that generally Goku would be more like, I got to do this to stop you from literally Hakkaiing our planet.
I think, I don't know how headcanon this is. I just think Goku got the impression that Beerus was just like not really that bad of a guy, I think if it was, because I agree, I feel like Goku would be more like, I can't let you, like, he wouldn't just be like, I give up.
I didn't earn this. I guess destroy the planet.
I think they were really trying to just like gas Beerus up, but also I think that my headcanon is just Goku knew he wasn't really that bad of a guy type beat. And that's another thing. This movie, look, now I'm glad we got the positives out of the way. Right back to the negatives. Back it up. Back it up. This movie has no stakes at all. Because even when Goku and Beerus are fighting and the movie's like, oh, wait, do we have a chance to fight back this god? Are there stakes now? Like, are we fighting?
Piccolo's like, oh, he's training him.
Piccolo's like, wow, it's like he's training him. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, thank you, Piccolo. I appreciate you saying that. So that's gone. And there was no stakes after that. Not like, well, you guys know, you watch the series, you know he's not going to blow up the planet. Well, thanks, man. Every book that has an ending, I guess, doesn't have stakes. You think I read every... Oh, thank God that's over. I thought that was real, man. I thought that was really going to happen. No, of course we know, but in the movie, in the feeling of the moment...
Probably one of the least stakes-filling movies of them all.
And I mean, it's going up against hard competition when every other movie exists in its own timeline with every villain saying, if you don't beat me now, this whole fucking universe is destroyed. Yeah. But still,
we got to get to Vegeta. We got to talk Vegeta. So there's a moment where, again, to become a Super Saiyan God, you need 5 righteous Saiyans with pure hearts, and they come together and give their energy to another. And what? We don't have 5. We don't have 5 plus Goku. There's only 5 of us total with Goku. And then Pan's like, oh, guess what? There's a quarter Saiyan inside me. And like, oh, cool. They come over, and then a few scenes later, Vegeta, you didn't want to be the Super Saiyan God? Honestly, no. In this situation, I'm glad it's Kakarot. What? I'm glad it's not me fighting Beerus. Vegeta wouldn't say that.
He had a lot of The thing is, he had
when DBZ Broly. God, I hated him. I hated him in that film.
He had a lot of Vegeta lines, which is what like next time I get to be the god. Next time I get power up. But then as they were fighting, they did just write in a random bitch. He's like, for the first time, I'm glad it's not me in there. I was like, oh
what? No, Vegeta would not say that.
Maybe like if you wanted to make him think that, okay, I probably wouldn't have done it. But the Vegeta does get a lot of cool characterization. I think they've always struggled with Vegeta in a post "You Are #1" world.
You're probably right. It's a fair.
They've always struggled with him because they don't know if they. I like the idea that they just keep being rivals, but that's just a moment where now Vegeta doesn't literally hate him anymore. Like it's not like fuck you, man, I can't stand it, but more like damn, I really want to be better than you, like kind of vibe. But I think they've always struggled with that, and I think this movie did to a certain extent. Although they do like, I mean, mostly it's the gas up Beerus, so I don't even know how much I want to give it credit for keeping Vegeta in a good place. But Vegeta does like a lot of embarrassing stuff because he knows how serious of a threat Beerus is. And this kind of plays into something I do want to bring up. I've said it before. This movie's greatest strength is introducing these new characters. But let me dial that in. Let me really show. It's like Beerus, every 5 seconds he's on screen, new lore is connected to him directly. Beginning of the film. Oh, I told Frieza to blow up Planet Vegeta, right?
Yeah.
Like crazy. Boom. He walks in. Vegeta's like, this guy was stepping on my father's head.
That one. So that one was one where I was like, is there a plot hole here? Because what he's like, I didn't want to travel over to Planet Vegeta, so I sent Frieza anyway. And it's like, wait, so he was also at Planet Vegeta at one point while King Vegeta was reigning and Vegeta was there and has met Beerus before. But this is a character we've never heard about, but he's the one ordering Frieza. What else did he do? He did something else, right?
He gave Frieza permission, I think, to destroy it.
Oh, yeah.
Is what he says.
And then there was something else that they wrote in all of a sudden that we were just we're not supposed to know, but that he did. I can't remember what. Oh, he killed all the dinosaurs on planet Earth.
Yeah, I guess
he's the reason the dinosaurs went extinct.
I guess that's not really technically lore, but yes, he is the reason dinosaurs go extinct on Earth because that's what Earth was to him.
Throwing in these little things, and it's like
every 5 seconds this guy's on screen, something else is responsible because of Beerus. Again, another moment like that is Shenron is summoned in this film, and he's like, "Oh my god, Beerus! My goodness, what? I'm sweating. Let me just here. Can I go now?" So Beerus gets glazed. All the lore in the universe comes back to Beerus, but they do it in like a good way, I think. It's not like super corny. It's never like to the level of being corny, like literally everything is because of Beerus, but a lot of stuff is like tied back to Beerus and he's integrated and stuff like that.
I saw a comment and it does mention it that one of the things is, again, which I'm now realizing why a lot of people's defense over this film is the lore setting up. But this is also the first time we find out that we're in Universe 7 and there are multiple universes with strong people. Like,
yeah,
Beerus does bring that up. But I can't emphasize enough how much I don't think, because we've had some pretty good lore-heavy, very canon, non-filler anime episodes, but we're not ranking those very high. Like, cool, man, we learned a bunch of cool lore, but does a lore dump really save something for its entertainment value, I guess?
I mean, the answer I think is absolutely not. In fact, it does the opposite. Once we learn the lore,
like I bet you I can find one right here. Like their defense is like, but it introduces Beerus and it introduces us to the Super Saiyan God form and it does this and it does that, but it's like all just like set up for other things. Like, cool, but so glad Resurrection F went to B, because no way the movie with Tracksuit Goku getting bodied by a laser gun, Whis rewinding time, and Beerus just not doing his job deserves an A. Battle of Gods disrespect is crazy when it's still peak of New Age Dragon Ball.
User Ooga Booga said Battle of Gods disrespect crazy when it's still the peak of New Age Dragon Ball.
There's no way you actually think that.
Well, the thing is, again, I think a lot of people come at it from like what it does, but I just, in terms of being a watchable, entertaining movie, I just don't know. I don't even know. I really can't. Because what you're saying, if it introduces new lore, cool. But when a TV show does it versus a movie, it's like time spent and specialness.
We're talking about this with boys. We're talking about this with the boys. Season 4 is probably setting up for a fantastic season 5. But am I going to remember and be like, that was peak because it set up for a peak season 5. I'm gonna go, no, man, we really sacrificed season 4 for a really good season 5, didn't we? Damn. Like,
but it's like it's about how you do it in what way. Like if you can do it while being interesting, that's like different. But we got another one.
Battle of Gods B. I'm sorry, that's pure cap. Battle of Gods is the best movie Dragon Ball has,
and that's from you.
It's not even the best Dragon Ball Z movie.
That's from YouTube user Black Valio.
You're putting them on blast.
I'm not. Well, no, whoa! I'm not even putting them on blast. I want their
Lego
opinions.
Post Malone. Battle of Gods greater than ROF, and it's not close. I'm telling you, we have to do it.
That could be true.
We
I would have to watch it again. But scroll down. I do want to read this one, and this is not. I'm not. By the way, I actually mean this. Not putting you guys on blast. I just.
Which one?
You've said your opinions, and I want to, because you guys could be the right ones, in terms of the people.
The Battle of Gods one is a pretty bad take, not gonna lie.
Yes,
it's miles more entertaining than seeing a guy slightly stronger than Goku wreak havoc for the 10th time.
And this is from YouTube user @WinterBeast. So he is not feeling it. But Broly is nice, but never Battle of Gods level. Come on. I think he means Z Broly. I don't know. It's like I told you DBS Bro. Oh, never mind. He meant DBS. Okay, let me go back and read. I don't know. It's like I told you. DBS Broly is bad because there is only a big fight start to finish pretty much. That's missing the purpose of the movie entirely.
There's so much more to that film.
And yes, the argument for the 5 friends giving you a form is lame and is a really bad argument. It's genuinely what Fusions is on a conceptual level, except it's 100 times more interesting for a Saiyan to develop that and to make a god form of it. I would agree with that.
No.
Well,
Fusion's far cooler.
Well, yes, I think Fusion is an inherently cooler concept because it's 2 fan favorites becoming a new character entirely.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But
what Fusion did, no.
Was this, okay, the way you're saying this, was this your opinion or did we both say this?
I honestly don't know.
Because I'll go on record right now. If I said this, I will take it. I don't know why I would say that. I don't think having 5 friends give you a form was a bad part of the movie. I think that's fine. I think them using that to introduce Pan's.
No, I think that's really cool.
That's fine. I mean, that's good enough. Yeah.
It's kind of what they did for Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku.
Yeah.
Which is a concept that already existed that people don't want to accept as canon, but by God, they'll accept it here. All right, so Nano's Battle of Gods take shows that he knows nothing about what makes Dragon Ball special. Oh God.
I'm glad. No. Can we just say this? This is from YouTube. You were Elizim.
I replied and said,
Nano
haven't
replied
watched
to this.
the movie in 10 years. A lot of people are missing the point of this tier list was to rank it based on our memory and reflect back on it once we've watched things with a more recent viewing. I will gladly say I was wrong about any of these on the list after a rewatch if I feel it was placed wrongly. They replied and said, word, glad to see you say you're willing to change your opinion upon a rewatch. Ooh. Both, unlike most of the fandom, I think that Battle of Gods is only one that really has it all. Good fights, the characters, the classic DBZ feel, the new form, plus the fact that it's revived DBZ series. And again, so many people give it that point.
I'll give it, but that
we
is
both
fair.
give it that point.
That is fair, and I agree with Elizim there. It revived DB as a series. That's true. It does a great job introducing characters. That's true. It does a great job introducing concepts. That's true. But as a movie, it was pretty boring. And my opinion did get that. Those are the exact comments I was talking about, though. Like he was being nice there and saying like, "Oh yeah, let's get back." But the truth of the matter is, my opinion just kind of worsened. Apparently, and also let me say this before we read this comment. Apparently, going through comments, Nano was the real hater. I don't know how I kind of developed to be the hater. Everybody here has dunked on Nano. So Nano, can I read this from YouTube user @TheBiggestCarl? I'm sorry, Nano, but saying Battle of Gods is worse than Return of Cooler just doesn't make any sense to me, Lamau. The fight of Beerus versus Goku is one of the best fights in DB history. Whoa, the Bardock and Trunks specials are so much lower than I thought they'd be. And on that one, I think I'm probably going to end up agreeing with the bottom comment.
I agree.
I was giving them flack for just being specials, but those are like the most iconic, nostalgic specials. I bet those are going to be like S tier at the end. But anyway, back to this comment. Do you have a response? You were the one in Target. Dun, dun.
So in our reaction, what did you say exactly that You Will Not Destroy My World was doing for this film? How did you compare it? You compared it to something.
It was a Michael Jordan-esque performance. It was saving the legacy of one of the biggest frauds.
That is the only way that you're saying that you think this fight is one of the best in DB history, because go back and rewatch it unedited, not on a YouTube video that has cut it down. Watch it raw from the film. What fucking fight.
Oh, wow. Nano's getting angry. But also, I will say, did you guys see what happened there? Nano as he was going for the dunk of his opinion, threw the ball off me in a way that it wasn't even a pass. He threw it off my back. So now I'm involved in the play. I got to come out here and defend it. But I actually agree. I think rewatching the film,
that moment is really awesome.
That moment is awesome. That's a great.
That
that's
specific moment would be a top 10 for me. That specific moment, but the totality of the fight. What fight, man? There's not a fight.
I mean, Goku versus Kefla is better than this.
Shit, I wasn't gonna call anything out directly, Doto.
I'll go direct. I'll go bar for bar. But I thought of Goku versus Kefla because I was going to use it as a comparison because there's the awesome Kamehameha moment, but also there's a whole fight outside of that. So yeah, while I just disagree with that. The Beerus versus Goku fight wasn't it wasn't crazy. No. Other than you will not destroy my world.
Yeah,
and that section
is also very brief.
It's brief, but it is legacy. It's legacy saving.
Yes. You take that section out of this film, and
because there was it was show level animation. They do very frequently the show level of and again, I've said that I like when they do this. I'm not even necessarily a hater, but it's the flicker punch, like the da 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 da, and they do that for 6 scenes, and then the other guy will be like da 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 da, and it's just like that. It's just like the same animation, 2 frames repeated. They do that a lot. It's show level animation. I really, again, the fight was not great. We have a new comment here that we want to jump into.
How can you not love Battle of Gods? It has Vegeta getting a power up when Bulma got slapped, introduction to Super Saiyan God, Shad's incredible acting when Goku is in the Earth's core. And on top of that, incredible fighting and probably the best soundtrack in any.
Okay, wait, films. We haven't mentioned this. So this is from YouTube user @Circly, and base take. The OST in this one,
the OST
was amazing. I thought
the OST when it came through was actually pretty solid. I also think I called it out several times, but I also think that the song specifically, which the song is good. There's other songs I enjoy more, but the song is good. I think a lot of people do remember back to the song though. I think the song is doing a lot of heavy lifting for people on this one specifically, which is great. It's cool.
I'm gonna split up from you here. I think you're usually the music guy, so maybe this is weird for me. I thought the OST when there was a lot of tracks I noticed, even when after Goku loses to Beerus the first time and he's standing up and it's kind of somber but hopeful. I was like, this kind of hits. And of course, the big music, the insert song was hype. Hero. That's a standout. That's great. But and then it has the reminiscence, it has, because it's and that's one area I'm really glad they got right, because it's a reunion tour. They're showing notes that we remember. The Chala Head Chala at the end was also good.
That was so nice.
The music here was great. I thought it was a standout at all times. I wish there was more action for this. But before we move on from this comment, I do want to just say, Circly points out, also rewatching this arc in the anime, it pales in comparison to the film that it's sad. I can only watch the film version.
Which is how you should do it. I don't know why you would watch the anime version.
I would agree with that because the anime version is more drawn out. But I would want to rewatch the anime version to really see my opinion on that. And then also before that, I do want to point out a reply to him because we should be fair. We should say both sides of the comments aisle. XJJW says, Battle of Gods personally puts me to sleep. People only like that movie for the last 15 minutes where it's Goku versus Beerus and the My Bulma scene. The rest is forgettable. Personally, I give it a C at most. So that kind of sounds what we're saying. Only I'm not even really going to give it the My Bulma scene.
I remember that scene being better than it was.
But no. The thing is that it's great, but it is very, very brief.
Yeah, not better. Sorry, so sorry. Let me step back. I remember that scene.
Yeah, you were on your Max Hater shit.
Yeah, in my head, so many of these scenes were much longer than they ended up being when we watched them. I guess that's what's blown me away with this film is that there is so much buildup. Again, the only thing that happens in the first 60 minutes is the fight between Beerus and Goku, which is obviously very brief because Beerus is him in this film, and that is cool. I'm not totally with Doto. Doto was one of Doto's takes lately in one of the podcasts. Definitely rubbed some of y'all the wrong way because it was something about how.
What's this?
Oh, it's the fact that you're saying it having an anime adapted arc does take away from it, and I don't agree with that. I don't think that's. I don't agree with that. How does because it has an anime arc take anything away from the movie?
It just loses its. I think the reason I say that is it just loses its special. It loses a specialness factor. I can see this in the anime with more drawn out scenes, which is pretty much what it does. I mean, and mostly what I mean by that is also just the fact that it's been recovered. Like the story goes on, we've seen it before, and it's just, I don't know, it loses the aura to me. It's not as special. It's not as special.
I wonder, do you think so? People like Rhombus here. Do you think I'm one of the crazy people who enjoy Battle of Gods over Broly? But you both make great points, so I can't really complain about the placement. I appreciate that, by the way. We get passionate here on the podcast, but at the end of the day, everyone gonna have their own opinion. I get that there are gonna be people that like. This podcast is not trying to convince anyone to not like Battle of Gods. It's just us, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. He does also say in the middle. Do you want to read it?
Oh, you can go for it. I did not read that part.
It could be better as a movie, but Sean going crazy with the "I won't let you destroy my world" is everything I want. I agree. He basically goes on to say that he really likes that scene. I agree too. But reading this, the thing is
that completely ruins what I was going to say, Donna.
What?
I was going to say maybe they're like a fan that just enjoys the truly characters interacting moments.
I want to make sure
I
want to make sure that people go back and rewatch this film and tell me, and you, again, if you think that maybe you like the just seeing everybody like meet up and all that stuff kind of thing, but it's like, I don't know. I would, it needs to be on a true rewatch. But I mean, again, not saying that these people are wrong for commenting, by the way. That was the whole point of the comments and also the video we did.
Yes.
So that specifically, I want to see that. But now I'm challenging you guys. If you disagree with us super heavily,
go rewatch it. You can watch it with us, by the way. You can literally.
That is true. You could also still feel free to. I'm not even saying go rewatch it and come back. You'll change your mind. But I am saying go back, rewatch it, and now see where you like are. Have you come down? Have you gone up? You might go up. Personally, I don't think you will. I didn't. But another comment from Colin Morris 8477. Mouse VHS movie Doto's thinking of is The Rescuers. That has nothing to do with this, but that is a great fucking film.
It is.
Yeah, great film. Love Rescuers.
This was painful for me. I think we only agreed on the top two, and Battle of Gods is close to them. Y'all unga boonga for real.
Battle of Gods is just not. It's not, bro. I thought it was going to be way higher.
You've got to be yanking my leg with Battle of Gods and B tier. Come on, guys.
That's Sarge. You're not. Why are you not reading the? You think it's a call out post. You're trying to spare them.
Wasn't gonna comment because this is 6 months old. Well, guess what?
Oh,
you're in the video.
Hellraiser commented 2 weeks ago. You're frequent.
But Battle of Gods is easily the second best. It's original. Most of the OG 13 movies were retreads. The opposite happened actually. It brought back the spirit of Dragon Ball. It brought in two really interesting and fun characters before they ruined them. Wait, how have they ruined them? You feel like they've ruined them?
I mean, I don't know how you could say they ruined Whis because Whis hasn't really. I don't think Whis has really changed. Like Whis hasn't really gone through anything.
And the final fight is easily one of the best in the series, if not top 3.
But people say final fight like there's any fights.
This is not a fight.
You can count the Goku versus Beerus at the beginning.
They barely go back and forth.
I understand that, but I'm saying I would be okay with counting that. If you want to count the My Bulma, and then this final fight to me implies like this is the big final fight. But this is the only fight. This is the only fight in the whole film, dude. Even Gotenks in the show, I at least remember going, does he not go Super Saiyan 3 in the show?
I think he does. And I think hold that out in the reaction. I think.
Yeah, he gets like he still gets embarrassed. But in this one, he's like, then oh, it's out. But look, I don't disagree. The thing is, what's hard about this is most of the OG 13 movies were retreads. I agree. They're pretty much all the same thing, kind of. I think we said that.
The opposite happened, actually. This was a retread. This was set up. This was not a retread, but this was the exact same formula with even less, like, interesting moments in terms of.
Yeah, I don't even know what he means by the opposite happened. Actually, I don't
know. No, this is the same formula, just longer.
I mean, I'm genuinely so confused. I don't know what he's saying. Like, I literally the opposite happened. Actually, the way he wrote it, I don't know if it's about the OG movie.
I think they're trying to say that this is completely different from the OG films.
Like in the way that the villain,
the structure, but
yeah,
it's the same structure.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Except I think that in the OG films, there's at least a little more like interestingness to the beginning of the film. Like it's not just such a long. I don't know. I don't know how to explain why is Battle of Gods and B. That movie is, in my opinion, Z.
I didn't get to read that guy's name.
I think Fusion Reborn is a Z film. I think Superhero is slightly better than Broly. I also think Battle of Gods is a high A. Could be argued to Z.
I really do not. I don't get it. After watching it, I was hoping my opinion would soften. But really, what happened, Nano, was me not watching it. Here's what happened. Okay, let me walk you through the exact headspace I was in. Me not having watched it and having confused some of it with the anime. Yes, that definitely happened to the commenter that said it. We got a new one?
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, okay. So, well, we're going to go ahead and get to...
Keep going.
We'll keep going on this. I was giving it more props because I assumed more should have happened between the spaces in my head I remembered. But now I see that the things I remembered because they are the only things that happened. I didn't remember some things that happened. I remembered everything that happened, and that's it. Goku, everybody gets embarrassed by Beerus. That's my Bulma. The end fight. And the thing is, the end fight, I remembered the "You Will Not Destroy My World" scene. And the reason I found out on rewatch that I remembered it is because it is the only noticeable moment of their fight. Everything else is just like, there's one cool turnaround Beerus head dive at Goku.
Yes.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I was like, oh, cool. That's it.
Their fight is so... dude, you take away "You Will Not Destroy My World," and that fight is such a nothing burger of a fight. I can't even... I'm sorry, dude. I'm not even trying to be a hater. I really went. I was hoping you could go watch the reaction.
I'm going to say I fear
positively.
I really do fear that some of my negativity rubbed off. I mean,
I think it did.
We did find out that
I think it did.
Originally, you were the hater, so we do know that now. So I guess so. Yeah. So I think it's kind of just like spreading back and forth between us. But I definitely was leaning into my hater character. But now it's you, man. Now it's all you.
Read Bogo Worms for Cell's comment.
Okay, here we go. Battle of Gods clears Broly so easily, it's sad, IMO. Broly has nothing in terms of substance. Fuck that movie. Edit. God damn, I'm hating. So I can appreciate... No, the thing is, I can appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I can.
The thing is, I hate you. No, I'm joking. It's like, I don't understand that at all, dude. No. At all. First, so people's critique of Broly is that it is one big, long fight.
But it's not.
But... First of all, it opens with the Saiyan lineage history. Yeah. We see Goku say goodbye to his parents. Now, other fans will say like, oh, they're retreading stuff. I don't like that. Okay, but it has that. And then it does more Paragus and Broly stuff. And then it has Paragus, Broly, and the other guy that we find out is like Broly's clothes. And then it has the boss stuff. It has Chilai and Lemo. And then it has all of this other stuff.
Shenron shows up.
Yeah, and then there's the fight, and the fight is cool, and it has clear stages.
And it's not just pure fighting, by the way. There's tons of stuff that happens in between each of the sort of like sets of fighting.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. Talking to Piccolo, Whis fighting, I guess it is more fighting.
There's clear stages, yes.
Paragus, Frieza, like the cut to Chila and Limo. Like there's...
Very clear stages. I don't see it all as one big fight. I see it as many fights. Many fights. But damn, and again, I've gone into everything. Yeah. I did want to say this because this was a big point that I should have covered way earlier, but something about saying Beerus, the head turn shot being good, made me think of this. I do want to say this. The thing about the movie looking like an episode of Super is that there is some moments where it looks really bad. Mm-hmm. And specifically, I said this a lot, but sometimes they try to do a serious looking Beerus.
It looked off.
He looked fucking ugly.
It looked real weird.
It looked like it didn't even look like a cat. It looked like a man pretending like he got forcibly turned into a cat. Dude, this is okay. I know. I'm glad you did. No. This was Nato is hating right now. I will say to the audio listeners, and I guess the video watchers can't even see this, but Nato is hating. He just silently scrolled down to the battle section of the Battle of Gods wiki, and he is on his peak hating shit. And because this is peak hating. Because Nato, do you want to tell me what there are Can you count the fights real quick for me, or do I?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Go ahead.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15
Out of
fights.
15 fights, and we'll get into the rest later. Can you tell me what the first 7 have an asterisk?
Flashback.
Yes, they do an opening akin to Superhero, who did that beautiful reanimated sequence of some Dragon Ball moments. And didn't they do it beautifully where like the characters like weaved in and out of the story?
Yeah.
And it was like presented in this artistic way. And this movie just showed some scenes reanimated to look like Super in a very boring way. Those do not count as fights. First of all, they shouldn't even be in the battle.
You didn't have to add in boring, dude. Come on.
It was boring though. They were flat scenes, like Bulma meeting Goku was literally Bulma and Goku like this. So other than can we go through? Your peak hating was right, and you awoke hater level 2 within me because first of all, flashbacks don't count. So the first fight, Goku versus Beerus, Super Saiyan 3, that counts.
Dude, wait, you're telling me that after we see the Goku versus Beerus fight on King Kai's planet, the next fight is not until Boo versus Beerus over pudding happens?
And here's the thing, if we're counting that as a fight, I have strong disagreements. I mean, it is more of a fight than the stuff that comes after. So you know what? I'm actually going to count it. Good Boo versus Beerus. Then it's Android 18, TN, and Piccolo versus Beerus. Where? It's they 3 fly, bop, 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 chopsticks on TN, throws them away.
I see now, though, a lot of the people that write in and leave comments on our videos are also working over on the wiki because they got to make sure they get in these fights on the wiki.
But then
Good Boo and Gohan Ultimate versus Beerus, that is the same sequence as 18 TN and Piccolo.
No, and even then, I'm going to be even more on my hater arc. Ultimate Gohan had his legacy everything else that happened saved Gohan's legacy, because Revival of Frieza saved Gohan's legacy here because people were like, green tracksuit Gohan, that was embarrassing. And it was embarrassing. This shit was embarrassing too.
Yeah.
Because what? Let me go. No, now because I thought of another moment and it made me even more angry.
No, there could be so many dislikes on one video.
No, because now I'm hating. They jokingly, it gets misplayed and played as a joke, but the Pilaf gang have Trunks at gunpoint. Not like that there's any danger there.
Yeah.
But Gohan pretends to be a hero and he's like, hey, he thinks it's a pellet gun, but he's like, hey, come on, shoot at my face.
Empty the clip.
Empty the clip at me, shoot at my face. I'm going to deflect it, which is cool. He's doing the great Saiyaman deflect. That's cool. And then all you hear is, I got shot. And his pregnant wife, Videl, has a bullet in his leg because Gohan reflected the bullet into his leg.
And I called that out, and Doto acted like, because it wasn't immediately, and then sure enough,
I've been shot.
because I'm like, someone probably got hit with one of those stray bullets. It wasn't just her, though, because someone else got hit, too.
Oh, Beerus also gets shot.
That was another one of the weird eye sections.
He did look weird there. But again, for Gohan's legacy, he shot his pregnant wife. That happened.
That's a crazy out of context clip.
Well, but it is true. And then this is the one that actually, the Ultimate Gohan versus Beerus, they give him a charge up scene. He goes, and he goes ultimate. He dashes in, catches him, bonks him against Boo, throws him away. That's it. He doesn't even throw a punch. He does not throw a punch. Or if he does, he throws a slim punch and then he gets bonked on the head and goes down. Tien had a better showing. 18, Piccolo, better showing. Gohan got horribly embarrassed. Also, that doesn't count as a fight. You're right. Because it literally happens a second after the other stuff.
It should have been lumped in with the other. Then we have Vegeta Super Saiyan versus Beerus, Gotenks versus Beerus.
Which I'll count.
Super Saiyan 2, Vegeta versus Beerus, and then Goku and God, Base, and Super Saiyan versus Beerus.
So we're walking away from this list. I'm being generous. I'm counting like...
If you count all the non-flashbacks, I think it's 8.
No, I'm not even counting those. Because I'm being generous too. Goku Super Saiyan 3 counts. Good Boo, I'll count it. Vegeta, I'll count. Vegeta Super Saiyan 2, I'll count. Goku versus Beerus at the end, of course, I'll count. I get 5 fights out of this. Is how I would have listed if I was the wiki owner.
Is this one of the longer movies as well? This was really long.
It felt really long, but I don't think that was necessarily the runtime. Ayo! 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 It was just kind of really boring. Are we doing trivia for this? I think it would be kind of interesting.
Yeah. All right. So there are discrepancies concerning the ages of some characters, namely Bulma and Mai. Despite being born in age 733, Bulma claims she's 38, whereas her actual age should be 45. Mai claims to be 40. She mentions she will turn 41 in March.
That was funny.
While her exact birth year is never mentioned in any known source, this age would have made her only 12 years old during the events of the Emperor Pilaf saga, despite having the appearance of a young woman at the time. Although both of these discrepancies could easily be the result of both women lying to conceal their actual age, as some older women have a tendency to do so, as they are sensitive about the fact that they are getting older and wish to be viewed by others as younger than they actually are. It may also be referenced the idea that it is impolite to ask a woman about her age. Beerus also claims he slept for 39 years and implies Planet Vegeta was destroyed during the interim. However, Planet Vegeta was destroyed more than 39 years ago.
Time is always where the wiki is going to eat these guys alive.
They go crazy. Despite taking place 4 years after the end of the Buu saga, many characters, particularly Trunks, Goten, and Marin, do not seem to have aged at all. In fact, Marin seems younger as her height and hair length appear shorter than 4 years earlier.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the curse of being a kid in Dragon Ball. You are just a kid.
Oh, wait, that's so interesting. Beerus claims he visited Earth long ago and caused the dinosaurs' extinction, yet in the Dragon Ball universe, dinosaurs still thrive on Earth.
Yeah, they do. We know that. We've seen them. And it gets violent.
Wait, it's possible that the dinosaurs were brought back to life by an unnamed corporation within the Dragon Ball universe. Alternatively, it may be tied to Raleigh Noramaki's use of the time slipper, which does not create alternate timelines, to save the dinosaurs from extinction in Dr. Slump, indicating Beerus wasn't lying as he was most likely unaware of Raleigh's actions.
Wow, so this could either be a moment where it's like, they were just trying to do a joke about dinosaurs and how old Beerus is, or two, they are so knowledgeable of Akira Toriyama's works that they reference Arale and wanted to draw connections and lore bonds between Arale and Beerus.
That would actually be so. This is kind of cool. And we talked about this a lot. Again, it's very weird. But Beerus's comments that Saiyans with pride are rare, which we both called out when he said that, because we're like, what? Because he's saying that in reference to Goku wishing he didn't have to use this god form that he didn't attain from his own, training and all of that. But anyway, is odd given the strong Saiyan pride demonstrated by Vegeta, Nappa, Turles, King Vegeta, and many other Saiyans throughout the series. However, it is possible that Beerus was unaware of Saiyan pride due to King Vegeta and his son's willingness to swallow their pride in order to avoid angering Beerus and facing his divine wrath.
Yeah, I'm going to just comment on this. I don't think that's like a wiki thing at all. I think that is literally the point of why he says that, because King Vegeta immediately got on his knees and hands before Beerus, because specifically he is Beerus. And that's like a whole plot. Is like Goku's like, no, you have the wrong idea. It's just because of you. Like, he has to swallow that, which is a lot, to live in front of you.
Read that next one, dude. That Yamcha one.
The outfit that Yamcha has in this film is exactly the same outfit as Sukutsun had in the 1997 Dr. Slump remake.
That's kind of cool.
Sukutsun Soon. That's a lot of soon.
Also, by the way, as always, shout out to the wiki. Real talk. It is implied that gods of destruction can choose to retire and give their position to someone else who they deemed worthy enough. This would also mean that they can gift immortality to their successor if the candidate is mortal, or bring them back from Otherworld if need be. This would be shown with Belmod and Top.
We did see that in the Super series.
I think we're good. Okay, so Doto, is there anything you want to say about this film that we haven't already probably journed on?
I'm good. I got it out of my system.
I will say, as much as I hated, or sounds like I hated, I did enjoy my time with this movie for the most part. I guess I went in here's what really happened, is that I did probably sound like I was hating on it 6 months ago when we did the sort of like blind tier list of the movies. And so many people have gassed this up. We brought this back up multiple times on podcasts. So many people gassed this movie up, and I let their gas actually go into the tank and fuel me up a little bit. And I probably shouldn't have done that. I think if I'd have went in with my lower expectations, I would have walked away being like, okay. But realistically speaking, so many people keep saying best fight. So many people say all this stuff. They like gaslit me into thinking this was going to be a much different experience than what I had expected. And I think realistically, before the Nano that got gaslit into thinking this was something that it wasn't, this was about where I thought this movie was. I think this lands probably where I thought it was 6 months ago, which is at best about a B-level tier list movie.
My opinion has gone down.
Okay.
Drastically, because really the phenomenon I talked about, I thought I was remembering spots of the movie because it had been a while.
Okay. I
was remembering the movie, and my mind was saving me from the rest, which was all really boring, except for the peel off stuff, which I did laugh at and I thought was funny.
I have to point that out to all you guys that think we're only meatheads. I literally said one of my favorite parts of the film was the peel off section. I love that stuff. I love seeing these characters interact, but I also want it to be actually interesting. I don't know how to explain that. This movie seriously felt like it was just It was the reunion movie. That's what it was. You haven't seen these characters on screen and interact them forever, so let's have them interact and do things, even if it's not that interesting.
Yeah. The hard truth is, this movie, I'm gonna go on the other side of the spectrum. This movie, it's gonna be hard for other movies not to get put lower, because what they're gonna have to do is, while yes, this movie will still get points for having cool and interesting characters that they introduced, really, the only way to get under this for me is to introduce boring characters and also be a boring movie.
Hang on. So, are you saying there's a world where this ends up being like almost at the bottom? Like if this was a solo DotoDoya tier list and I had no influence, is this like? Hang on. The ultimate question: Dead Zone or Battle of Gods?
I would say Dead Zone is an example of the character it introduces is kind of boring, and what it does with it is kind of boring. So no, it is below it.
World's Strongest or this?
World's Strongest.
Yeah, World's Strongest blew me away. I can't believe how much I liked World's Strongest. I'm serious.
Because while the character it introduces is kind of boring, the movie itself was not necessarily boring.
The movie was prettier than this, by the way.
Yes, it was.
I stand by the fact that like all of everything about World's Strongest like looked better more consistently, because like Dotto really was on this hating arc in the reaction. He was calling out so many scenes that, and there were a lot of like
anime super scenes where it's like, well, that doesn't look good.
It was weird. I just don't remember that being the case.
Now, I'm not even talking animation. Like, I just mean the art was not good.
Yeah,
still shots where they would show the characters, like Vegeta reacting to Kill Kai. I was like, King Kai
happened
for that
like
scene. All you really need is like the artist to draw him looking good.
Yeah,
but they just didn't. They were just like, huh. And it's just like, it's like, I don't know. It's like a shot like on a weekly schedule, like on an anime schedule, an episode that would make sense. And I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But in a movie, it's like, we don't have time to clean that up. Like a little bit.
It's interesting. All right, Dotto, we do a thing here on this show where we give everything we watch a rating from 1 through 10. Unfortunately, off the top of my head right now, I cannot tell us what we gave World's Strongest. You know what I can do, though? I can actually look up Master Shout out to Key Moments rankings. Because they actually keep up with our rankings for everything that we post. And that would probably give us World's Strongest. You gave it a 7. I gave it an 8.
Wow. You really glazed it.
I'm so serious. I actually really cannot believe how much I ended up enjoying that film. I went in with, we literally put it in our reaction or our tier list video, a D. We put it in a D and we put this in a B. So I would have never thought I would walk away from Battle of Gods rewatch thinking like, well, I'm not giving this an 8. We both gave Dead Zone a 4. So we gave Dead Zone a 4.
That was a mistake. That was a genuine mistake. That was pretty bad. That should have been worse. That should have been.
And I'm only referencing the movies that we've only given at this point. This will be our 3rd technical Dragon Ball Z film. We've only done 2 before this, and that'd be Dead Zone, both of us with 4s, and then World's Strongest, Tim with a 7, me with an 8. I'm ready to go. I know what I want to give it.
I know what I want to give it to. I knew what I wanted to give it before, but now I have to. Okay, do we want to just go on 3?
Sure. 3, 2, 1, 6.
5. I'll bump it up to 5.
You want to give it a 4?
I was going to give it a 4.
You refuse to give it the same as Dead Zone,
No, because I was going to say, can we all just please acknowledge that I'm going to say that Dead Zone 4 was not real. It should have been a 3. But no, I said 4 at the time. I'll move the scale up. This is a 5.
To give you an idea, 6 for me is like, that's not a bad rank. I think as long as on my scale, in my head, 5 and above is like.
Yeah, I go on a fair 10. 5 is average, which means I had an average time.
Yeah. 6 is like good.
6 is like
good.
Yeah.
Even though I do feel like I probably hated a lot in this episode. Again, it's honestly a reaction to a lot of you guys being pissed off that I shouldn't like worship this film, and then to go into it and be like,
you were hating, man. You became quite a big hater after this.
Like there was no like, this is the driest donut of all time. Where was the glaze everyone was throwing on it? Damn, bro.
You were hating.
I wanted a little glaze, man, and there wasn't nothing. There was nothing there, bro. That shit was a little dry. Anyway, Dotto, I can hear the audio. What is that? Is that
I can too. Thank you for watching our Battle of Gods review, and we're sorry.
Thank you so much.
We're sorry.
Listen, it's just we're having a good time. We're just talking about Dragon Ball for an hour and 10 minutes.
You're saying that like anybody that like they already got it all out. They got it out in the comments. They're out of here.
We appreciate you guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.